So this is the cognitive assessment I send out. It takes about 40 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And this is probably the most researched thing that I have or do because it's Creos. They've got 25, 30 years of psychological assessment. So it comes from...
Does that stand for something, or is it?
There used to be Cambridge... what was it?
No, it doesn't matter.
Cognitive assessment. They changed their name, but I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And it gives a nice initial thing. So we've got 12 different cognitive functions that it tests, and it will then give a normative data for how that person's doing over the 12.
So when you send this out, how do they physically fill this in? They get it question by question, and they have to...
No, it's like a game. So they get a link, and then they have a demo. They spend a couple of minutes doing the demo, say, yeah, I understand what I've got to do. Yeah. And then they do a 3-minute game. So this one, digit span, is giving them 2, 4, 7, 3. And then they do that. And then it's a longer one, or then it goes backwards. Yeah. And it sort of pushes them till they fail. Feature match is one for attention, so noticing differences between the two types of shapes. And double trouble is a response inhibition. That's a bit like a Stroop test, which is where...
A bit like a which
test? A Stroop. The Stroop test is where you've got a font that's green, but it says yellow. And then you have to say the colour of the font or what the word says. And the rule may change. So this is a lot of prefrontal cortex mental flexibility. Right. So with these, we then get a nice score of those, and you can, as you understand it, there are some that are more right brain and some that are more left brain, and some are a bit of both. So you get another window into which areas are functioning. And this is this particular chap had a concussion, and he was redoing it. So when it redoes it, we see that, first of all, on this one he scored 99, then he went down a bit to 94, but that wasn't significant. So each time you do it, there's likely to be a bit of change.
Yes.
And they've done a lot of research to sort of figure out, right, is there a learnt amount? So one, you might improve by 3% on average if you do it a few times. Others, you can't improve when you do it. And they put all this into the algorithms. So this one, double trouble, the response inhibition, which is also your ability to think before you do things. So when you get something reflexive, do you then respond straight away, or do you pause? Do you say something before thinking? These types of activities. So a good prefrontal cortex. And his, well, after his concussion, it wasn't too bad. It was on 100, but he was a smart chap. Then after a couple of months of treatment, 3 months maybe, we see that it's at 111, and that's a significant increase. So we can say there, this has made a difference. Or
at what point do you regard it as significant? That's 10% down there, isn't it?
When this tells me.
When it tells
I
you,
don't quite understand it, but having spoken to them...
And it could differ between all of these different tests.
Yes, it will differ between the different ones. And so with each one as well, it gives... I haven't got it on here, but it says what it does. And then below, or in the first one that they get, it then says this type of test is in everyday life. It's remembering where your car is when you go into a shopping mall and come out through a different door. Right. Or it's being able to process one thing and get distracted and go back to the other thing without forgetting about it, sort of episodic memory. So
far, I think I've failed all these tests.